frog lamp farm is in fact working. I'm going to be breaking down how exactly we're going to be making this today. It is very beautiful and it comes with 3 different light source blocks. And it's an auto farm. You just sit inside, you can sit on the outside, have the magma be drawn to you, have certain corners full of different colored frogs, and you can get these 3 unique light source blocks, and they're really good for builds, pathways, just making sure there's no mobs spawning nearby in a very decorative fashion. The thing about these light source blocks is they're a lot more smooth. They don't have as much texture on them, just a little bit around the borders. So they kind of act as an accent to builds more and don't stand out as much as glowstone or mushroom lights. So I'm a huge fan, and look at that, we're getting a whole bunch of lamps still, and it's working. Get some magma cream as well, obviously, because some of the magma are gonna die from the cacti. But yeah, I'm gonna be breaking down how exactly we make this farm, and here is our beautiful hourglass infinity fountain. Gotta go check out our old video if you haven't seen that yet, but we are substituting out the frog lamps here into the build, and it looks quite nice. The yellow frog lamps complement the sand nicely, and it's lighting up our hourglass. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look down below us. We have a beautiful eating chamber for all different kinds of frogs gathered across the lands of Heim, and they are here for a beautiful feast, and they're supplying us light as a payment. So we're going to have to find a bastion to make this frog lamp farm. We also get magma cream out of this bad boy too, but we're prioritizing frog lamps because they're a beautiful light source block. But once we find the magma spawner and the bastion, we're going to want to slab all around, so that way we can keep endermen from spawning in. It'll just kind of make the area way safer. Nothing will be able to cause us any harm or danger. We won't have to accidentally look at an enderman and get jumped. Then we're going to find the beautiful spawner. We're going to dig out a square, just like this. It's 7 from the center. And we're going to dig all the way down to 7 blocks and slab out the bottom, so that way we can keep endermen from spawning. And unfortunately the magma are going to just keep on spawning above us the whole time we're making the farm. So you can easily get totally jumped and annihilated by their mass numbers, which is quite unfortunate. So just be wary of that. But here we go. Once we dig 7 down, we slab out the bottom, and then this is the layer that we're going to have all of our hoppers on. But we're going to have a grid just like this, where we aren't going to have any hoppers, but it's going to serve as the base for our cacti. So we're going to give space for our hoppers so we can interconnect them all and lead them all into a chest. And then we're going to have this grid pattern going, so that way the magma will be able to take damage from the cacti when they spawn. And so once we get all of this laid down, we're going to put 2 layers of sand. So we're doing sand because the cacti grows on the sand. And then we're doing 2 layers because the bottom layer is going to be the hoppers. We have to still place them and the carpet. But little baby magmas, they can't jump 3 blocks high. So if we make the cacti 2 blocks high, or the sand layer, and then the cacti on the 3rd layer, the little baby magmas won't be able to take any damage, and they'll just be jumping around on the bottom layer with our frogs. So it'll protect the baby magmas, so they'll just be eaten. And then it'll trap the big ones at the top that are too wide to fall in between the grid-like pattern that we have going on. So it's going to serve as a good death chamber. And let's place our hoppers all leading into one another. We got to look at the hopper we want to lead it into. So we're going to lead them all to a center area where we're going to have a chest. And then just put our carpet on top of the hoppers to keep the endermen from spawning in our farm. Make it a little safer. And boom, we walled off everything and led it into a chest, and it looks like we are getting some frog lamps. But now to transport the frogs, because that is a very important part. So for the white frogs, we can only get them from a mangrove forest, and the white frogs, they produce the most beautiful frog lamp. they're important. It has a tinge of purple on the sides, so we definitely have to mass produce these, take them to the farm. I am really excited to build with this light source block, and boom, look, it's weighing me down a little bit having this much of a number, but it's gonna be well worth it, except for the fact that a lot of them died on the journey there. Okay, so for the green frogs, we have to go somewhere snowy. Luckily, on the edge of the city of Heim, we've got a snowy little hill here. Take our tadpoles, and I definitely recommend feeding them slime so that way the water doesn't freeze and they die. They flop around. So yeah, definitely just get some slime so you can breed them and grow them quickly so you can transport them to your farm. Recommend building a nether portal at your farm and then just flying them with a happy gas. It's definitely the easiest way to transport mobs around in a Minecraft world right now. So yeah, take them to your giant nether portal. I just have a big one so I could fly in a happy gas, transport stuff around if I need. Drag them in with your leads, and then it's pretty easy to get them into the farm. I also like to have them plant eggs in the water right before I go into the nether, so that way I can have more tadpoles. You can take the tadpoles to any of the biomes that you want, so you can just gather all the tadpoles and then take them to get whatever color you'd like. Green, yellow, or white frog lamps, depending on the color. So just break open a side of our farm and push them in. Sayonara, buddy. The yellow frogs we can basically get at any biome, like any warm biome. So the green ones we have to go where it's snowy or icy, like the forest, ice spikes, in the ocean, or the mountains. And then the yellow ones we can basically do any warm biome, and then the white ones are only in the mangrove. But we're gonna have the leads about 5-6 blocks away, so that way we can keep them from jumping into the cacti like this. We're gonna build up the sides. I don't have the sides built up here, just so we can look. That way it'll keep them from jumping. But now, they can't touch the cacti, and then they're off to the side, where they can still eat the magma cream that are gonna be like pulled to us and drawn to the player. So you can kind of stick whatever frogs you want in whatever corner. You can have variety corner, you can have all one color in one corner, kind of influence the frog lamp colors that you want to be produced in your farm, just as an idea to spit out there. Let's seal that up because it's getting dangerous. But now I'm going to build a little walkway, a little ring around the top of our magma cream farm, frog lamp farm, just so that way, as you can see below, we're influencing all the smallest magma cream blocks to the corners where our frogs are. So that's why I'm like, maybe I should make like a white frog corner so we can mass produce white frog lamps instead of getting a variety mixture right now. But yeah, definitely making this little walkway around the top of the farm will help to kind of kite the mobs over. So I'm gonna just go around the border, and then we're gonna make a little safety railway as well. And build up the sides just so the frogs don't jump up and aren't eating the magma creams of our grid here. We could have maybe done just all hoppers around the edge there. It's a better idea probably than building up the grid. There we go, we got a walkway, and then if we sit in the corners, we're completely safe from the big magma creams. They can't really glitch through and get us or anything. I could see a small one maybe jumping off a cactus, but we're safe now. Alright, one last finishing little note here. I am on top of the frog lamp farm. I slabbed out this whole area, so that way nothing really glitches through the roof. Nothing will spawn on top. It's a thicker barrier, and then it also prevents the enderman from spawning. As you can see, when we go into the middle, we influence the magma cream to go into the center. So this is a weak spot of our farm, because I feel like maybe if I had dug down a few more blocks, we could store frogs in the center and there wouldn't be any dead zones where the magma cream could be safe. However, it was really hard to dig further down because there's lava. There's not any blocks to place anything on, so it's kind of a hassle. That's why we made it 7 deep with the slab at the bottom. But honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You can just line whatever corners you want with whatever color frogs, and then you can be like, alright, this is like my white corner for white frog lamps. I'm gonna sit in the corner, and then all of the magma cream are gonna come over here and get eaten. So, look at that. Going quite swell, except for our frogs are full right now. Oh, nope, they're eaten. I saw a white frog up. There we go. 3, 4. We're getting a spree right now. So yeah, this is way more efficient than like literally dragging in frogs here and trying to find magma cream. This spawner, infinite spawning. Like, yeah, you might have to refill your frogs from time to time if they die from the cacti. But I'm just gonna get way more frogs once I have more lassos, and hopefully that'll speed up the rates that we're getting on the farm. I'm gonna have to test that out. But yeah, this is a bedrock frog lamp farm, and here, let's go and just do a last final look here, because it's quite beautiful. I think it looks aesthetic, it's efficient, and let's look at that. We're already back at 20 white frog lamps. We just took all of them out, so just in the time of me talking and explaining, we are getting very many lamps. I need more green frogs. Unfortunately, didn't put them on a safe post. That is the thing, guys. Definitely check the distance. It's about 5-6 blocks away, so that way they still have room to eat. But that way they don't jump into the cacti, because if you do them too close, you're going to get lassos. Lassos will show up in your farm. That means that you lost a frog. Thank you so much for tuning in to Heim today. If you learned anything and think that this farm is bougie and efficient, let me know. I think it is quite handy. I love these light blocks, and I'm definitely looking forward to using them into builds in the future. We'll see how we can incorporate this farm and these blocks into Heim and its prosperity. But yeah, let me know any improvements you would make on this farm. Have you guys ever made a frog lamp farm before? Or have you guys gone to a bastion? Clearing out all the brutes, getting this farm all situated is quite dangerous. Shout out to my friend Eden for being my bodyguard and assisting me and keeping me safe so I could build and make this farm without getting jumped by the masses. I definitely recommend hiring some muscle help just to keep you safe in the building process, because these blocks are quite worth it. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.